But it's interesting you mentioned that because Biden's got this creepy, weird whisper about him. No wonder they have to boost his volume. And look, the Democrats, they're really getting increasingly desperate. Democratic Representative Ted Lieu was clutching at straws when he made this claim about Donald Trump and the Epstein files.
But something I've heard that doesn't seem to be being covered are the Epstein files. These files were released, and like Donald Trump's sort of all over this, right? There are pictures of him with Jeffrey Epstein. He's taken multiple plane flights with Epstein, with young girls on board. He is on call logs with Epstein. One of the highest trending hashtags on Twitter right now is about Trump and Epstein. I'm not going to repeat the hashtag because we're in a dignified setting. But yeah, y'all might want to look at that because that's highly disturbing. And again, it shows that Donald Trump is unfit for office.
Even Snopes, a left-leaning publication, has debunked these kinds of claims, saying no evidence supports the claim that Trump has paid upwards of $35 million to silence accusations that he raped several children ranging in age from 10 to 13. Ami, do you think the Democrats are now really grappling at straws?
Look, I mean, they're desperate to move the attention away from Joe Biden's meltdown. So, yeah, of course they're grasping for straws. But I think they have to be a little bit careful with that particular accusation, considering that Bill Clinton was really heavily involved with Jeff Epstein. I think that might be a mistake. But look, you're not going to win any point. Trump's creep factor is already very clear. We know Trump is kind of a creepy dude, kind of a weird dude. We know a lot of sexual allegations against him. This is not new. This is all baked in. You're not going to gain anything from it, but you are going to move the spotlight back to your creepy former Democratic president, Bill Clinton. So it's probably not the smartest move in the world, to be honest.
Fair call. Now, have a look at this vision of Joe Biden appearing to sleepwalk, but this time on the global stage. Here he was on stage at the NATO summit in Washington. You can see him there. He goes into the middle. I don't know where I am. Where am I? Who are all these people? He really has absolutely no idea where he is. And then have a look at this second clip here as Canadian PM Justin Trudeau walked on stage. Look at Joe Biden. He looked at him as though, well, is this the first time we've met? I don't know you. With the usual creepy mouth open, stunned, strung out stance. And then unfortunately, Ami, Joe Biden did start speaking.
The fact is that so many of let me put it this way. I'm very pleased that today...
You know, Ami, this is NATO. It's an important global summit, and this is apparently the president of the free world who needs to be in bed. Is it embarrassing to have him represent America in front of world leaders like this?
Yes. Is that enough of an answer? Do I have to keep going on? Yes, it's embarrassing. Look, it's not so... Okay, we understand that he is in serious physical and mental decline. That is what it is. I think maybe a bigger problem is how he's approaching NATO itself, the things that he's saying. First of all, in the George Stephanopoulos interview, he said we beat Putin. Like, did we, though? I'm not sure we did. Because if we did, he's making the argument that we no longer have to defend Ukraine, right? So there's real geopolitical issues when he says things like that. But I think the most egregious is when he tries to take credit for NATO paying up. Yeah, NATO has paid a lot more over the last few years because of President Trump. Look, Biden was vice president with Obama for 8 years. And there was all these problems we had with NATO members not paying their 2% of their GDP toward defense budget was happening to that entire 8-year process. It only began raising during Trump because he played chicken with NATO, right? Everybody's talking about how he wants to disband NATO. At the end of the day, we know what that is now. That was a tactical negotiation that worked. They ended up paying their fair share. And it took time. It took a couple of years for it to happen. So he's now taking credit for what Trump did. That, I think, is an even bigger problem.